So the first thing we'll do is clean up the surface data. So let's take a look at this surface here, which is our overall surface. And if we go to surfaces, you'll see that that's the surface that is the kind of a combination, it looks like, of everything, and that's the one we want to use. So what we can do is go to properties here, and if we want to, we can change the name, and we can say, topo, or just leave the name the way it is. A couple things we want to do is set the transparency maybe to 50, and then we're going to turn off the wireframe so we don't see this for the plan or the profile. It kind of dulls it out a little bit. You can see that there's a couple other surfaces here as well, and we don't need those, so there's a second and a third. Looks like they kind of took those and combined them possibly, but whatever, determine which surface is the right one. Looks like we could use this one, but it doesn't pick up that part of the surface either. So this may be the one we want to use, or if we pick this one, that's the overall encompassing site, even the other site. So we're going to use that one, and we're going to take these guys and we're just going to turn them off. So I'm going to turn off the second and the third. It should be a combination of just the way that they're placed in. Okay. So that's the surface. The next thing that we'll do is we'll go into the runs. So the utility nodes, you can see here, we could go through and renumber all these, but what we're going to do first is I'm just going to select them all the nodes. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to properties. I'm not going to rename any of them, but I am going to change the improvement. So I'm going to change these to our manhole that I have set up in our template that has all the properties and costing. So if I go to my material site improvement manager, under site improvements, I've got a sanitary sewer structure. I've got my ductile iron pipe set up with all my costing and pricing, and as well as my manhole with all my costing size and as well. One thing about the pipes, what I did just to point out, is I've got them different colors based on their size. So when I actually switch the pipes over, you'll see we'll be able to tell visually what color those pipes are and which ones are 12s, 16s, and 24s. So visually we'll be able to see this from a plan view. So you can see that it changed all of those parts. The one manhole that is existing, if we take a look at this, we know that this manhole here is existing. So that's that 5194. So if I come back over here and take 5194, we're going to set that one to existing. All right. The rest of the stuff should stay the way it is. So then we'll come down and we'll work the pipes. So we've got some pipes here. You can see this one is the one crossing the road. If we go to the properties of that, we'll see that it's a 24-inch. We're going to change it to our 24-inch. You can see that it changes the color. We could change the name. It's not existing. This one's actually going to be replaced. So we could rename that run if we wanted to, but we're not. We'll leave it the way it is. If I go to this one's 24 as well. So I'm just going to switch that to 24, and then I'm going to come to this one, and it looks like we're now going to have a 16. So I'll switch that to a 16-inch. Okay, and then we come down to ours. And it looks like the first one's 16, and then as I go down a little further, I got 16 there, 16, 16, or sorry, 12. So there's 12. This is 16, and this is 16. So I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to change those all to 16s. Then I'm going to pick on this one, which is my 12, and they should all be 12 the rest of the way. So we'll go from that one, shift and select, and switch those to our 12-inch ductiles. Okay. The other thing we'll do is we're going to pick all of the pipes. All right, so I'm going to pick them all, and I'm going to change the mode from centerline to calculated. This way it just brings it back to the structure of the manhole. We'll do the same thing for these, which we should have done as well. So I'm going to pick both of those, set those to calculated, and we'll close that. All right, so now I've got those up, all set up. You can see that the color is a little bit different. If I turn off the images, you'll be able to see those a little better. You can see the magenta, the purple gets thicker. Right, so visually, if I'm zoomed out, I can kind of tell where my 24s, 16s, and 12s pipes are. So just kind of the way you set up that Material Site Improvement Manager. Next, we'll go ahead and drop in a trench, and we'll talk about that.